And staying in the community, as you saw earlier, Police Minister Bheki Cele is saying he's confident the interventions being made in the community to deal with high levels of violent crime and undocumented migrants will be sustained. He and Home Affairs Minister Motsoaledi met with residents after protests over the high crime rate and poor police response. Well, to talk more about the police angle, let's go to the Diepsloot CPF Secretary, Kutlwano Moalosi. Good evening to you and welcome. Thank you very much for your time. Our reporter there, Griselda, just updating us on that meeting by the two cabinet ministers and the Premier of the province. What are your thoughts on what they have decided by way of a response to what's happening in Diepsloot?
Yes, good evening, ma'am, and good evening to your viewers also. We are extremely happy that both ministers have come after we've pleaded with them to come to our area. At least now, as Griselda was correctly saying, things are extremely calm now in our area. So we are happy with the feedback that we are getting also from the community.
The question now, Mr. Moalosi, is how long can this calm hold? We have seen, I mean, you're in the area, you understand these cycles of violence and protest. What is different now to what was, put to bear on the situation in 2020, where again we had protests, where again we had multiple members of the community murdered, including a police officer in that case?
Yeah, and we were very sharply raising this issue with both ministers. To say we don't want to see the same situation happening as 2020, where police come here for only 2-3 weeks, then they go back. Now they've assured us as community at large, both stakeholders, all the stakeholders in Deipsloot, to say they will be here for quite a long time. And the good part also is that they were consistent to say they will come and also do a post-mortem to check is what they are putting now, is it bearing fruits now on the ground? But so far, as I can tell you as Community Police Forum, to say we are extremely happy that at least now police visibility, it is there. Even with the feedback that we are getting from the communities that police visibility, it is there, and they are appreciating it also.
So again, this is an area you know well. This is a community that you work in, you operate in. So you understand the trends, you understand the movements in a way that somebody who's only observing cannot. What would you say are some of the solutions that you as the CPF, based on what you've heard in the community, can be deployed to make a real and lasting difference? What ideas do you have?
We also pleaded with both ministers, in fact, to say the permanent solution would be that the resources should not be taken away after 3 months, because it do not bear any fruit after they're taking all the resources. As you all know, that our police station is very big. It's a brigadier police station. It needs serious manpower, serious vans, so that police can do their work without any hindrance. So the only solution to this is that police must be deployed permanently in our area. More police officers should be added to the ones that we have now. And also making sure that this thing is sustainable. We will engage and continue engaging with community members and mobilizing them for that case, making sure that they report any criminal activity that is happening in our area.
What do you say about the mob violence that we've seen? Of course, and just to update the numbers, as far as we understand, based on the Diepsloot SABC report, 5 murders were reported on Wednesday. I know that we saw a number of people talking about 7 murders, 5 murders excluding that of Alva, so that brings it up to 6. But between the 30th of March and Sunday, those were 5. And the police in the area telling us emanating from separate unrelated incidents and investigations. Given that it took the face of, a reaction to foreigners in the community, it became sold on a lot of social media platforms in that way. We heard the minister saying today, and in fact Motsoaledi as well, that as far as he understands, that is not really the heart of it. People seem to be more concerned about crime. We heard Cele also talk about, people having to hide under beds and so on. What would you like to say to South Africans who obviously don't live in Diepsloot? aren't familiar with the nuances of how people operate and live together and move, how you define the reason for this type of violence and the reprisals, or maybe not reprisals, but the violence that we also saw on Elvis and Yati.
Yeah, I think we need to mobilize our community and also conscientize them that a crime does not have any nationality. Anyone that commits crime must be brought to book. What I would also want to say, in particular to our people in Deipsloot, as Minister Cele was correctly saying, is that we are appealing also to our landlords because they are the ones that are harboring criminals in their area, in their yards. So we are appealing to them to also say, can they please make sure that whoever that they let into their yard, that person knows at least they've got a small background about that particular person, because sometimes the problem is that we are harboring our people. But what I would just tell South Africa at large is that we need to tolerate each other and make sure that crime does not have any nationality. Whoever that commits crime must be brought to book.
Kutlwano, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate your insights this evening. That was the Diepsloot CPF Secretary, Kutlwano Moalosi.